Friday. Well, we really can't deliver on anything that we're promising in the election because the president would just veto it all. And then by this morning, well, we're going to have to cooperate with the president. No,
Yeah.
not him cooperate with the Republicans. We're going to have to cooperate with the president, which means they're going to spend money, they're going to raise taxes.
And cooperate with the president means you do what the president says.
Yeah.
That's what cooperation
That's
is,
right.
Isn't that the president's definition of
Cooperation.
partisanship?
Yeah, his definition of partnership is I tell you what to do and you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows that the Democrats basically, if he's got the Republicans on board, the Democrats will walk off the plank again.
And if you think we're just being purely satirical, listen to what we said and look at what has been happening.
Oh God, it was just, I watch the news because I actually have to call the news for the headlines of the day, and it is so depressing at the moment. You know, president's going after, I didn't want to have to do this, but somebody has to crack down on the mortgage industry, which basically destroys the housing in this country. Housing is what started the problem. He basically, right before the election, he's going to destroy the economy. 2 weeks before the election, he decided that I'm going to tank it to teach this country.
We told him that those would be election issues, though, immigration and the housing, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we talk about that?
Yeah, and he basically, the President of the United States, the little signs that said you can't go, don't go into this area because it's dangerous have all been pulled off now.
For what?
In Arizona, because they didn't want camera crews photographing on us when Napolitano was saying this border is more secure than it's ever been, to have signs that says they don't go into this area because it's not under the control of the United States of America.
And that's on the U.S. side?
80 miles inside. Yeah, 80 miles of our country is basically in the hands of Mexican drug lords. And they can't get the National Guard in, they can't get anything, because the president is getting ready to back in the immigrants. He tried every way he could before the election, but they know that he's going to, you know, they said 51% of the illegal immigrants say that Obama doesn't believe in their ideals.
Huh.
Remember, they're Catholics, folks. They don't believe in homosexuality. They don't believe in divorce. They don't believe in abortion. They don't believe in all that stuff. Obama does. So Obama doesn't get their support. So, but he got to put 20 million more people on the rolls. Oh, and yesterday officially too, the Democrats and the Republicans have acknowledged that 16 million that weren't insured, it became 30 million that wasn't insured. It's actually 45 million people are being added to the insurance rolls, which is why the companies are raising the prices.
Oh, really?
And they're going to raise them. They're raising them by 10% upwards this year, another 10% next year, another 10%. But Obama has already said, Obama's people, we have to seriously think about the public option when they come back.
Guess what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah, he knew that the insurance companies would raise the prices to cover the fact that they got to have not 16 million more, not 30 million more, but 45 million. Where do they get that 45 million? 25 million plus illegal aliens that he's now getting ready to insure. They weren't supposed to get insurance according to the thing, but there's nothing in the bill that prohibits those people from getting insurance.
Oh yeah, I remember on those talk shows them talking about, well, you want the illegal aliens to get health insurance and be taken care of, because if they go to the schools with your kids, they're going to make your kids sick.
And they're going to occupy the emergency rooms. Well, under Obamacare, the main source of health care in the United States will be the emergency room. Isn't that amazing? It's going to be the main source. And Republicans, instead of repealing a place, well, we can't not fund this because it will make us look bad. The people will be up in arms if we don't fund this.
You know,
the people don't want it. And they're going to it's basically, if you leave a moron in office, the moron is going to do the moronic thing.
But see, here's part of it, is Republicans are being totally moronic, sitting there thinking, oh, we're going to look bad. Well, this is not a popularity contest.
No, the guys are being thrown out of office because they actually supported this spending and all of this stuff. So they're going to not do what they did tell people they were going to do because, well, he would just veto it anyway. He can't veto not spending money. You can cut off the funds to all of those things. You keep the funds to Medicare, Medicaid, you keep the funding to the emergency rooms, and you stop the funding for all those other programs.
Which is one of the reasons that we always knew that the military was pulling out, because we had a Democratic-controlled Congress, and they're always just going to stop funding.
That's right. And then Republicans can't find anywhere to cut. They're going to have to cut education. Well, they're going to cut. Okay, they're going to cut military. They're going to cut. They're going to cut everything that you can think of, probably about 10%, and still raise your taxes. That's how it's going to be done. They're going to cut the entitlements back, which means people my age, bye-bye, they don't care about us anyway. Republican-based, the only people my age the Republicans care about are the members of the House and Senate that are my age. I mean, that they're, basically their brothers, their sisters that are their age. Well, the hell would you? I got mine, you should have got yours.
Gosh, you know who that reminds me of? Sad to say, it's Michael Douglas.
Yeah, I know.
Because the actor Michael Douglas, has all the means in the world.
Yeah.
He could have had the best doctors, and what did he opt to do?
Yeah, he's dying now from throat cancer because of he basically, I'm a left-wing liberal. I have to do the left-wing liberal thing. Well,
he was trying to walk his talk. But
you don't do that. You should have simply, it's just like you got these Brits that come over to our country. They come over to our country for our healthcare system, and then they go back and condemn our healthcare system. We have the best healthcare system in the world in England. Well, it's broke. They're cutting back the thing because they can't pay it.
And they're coming here for help.
They're coming here. They're basically trying to shift back to an American-style system all over the world because their healthcare systems don't work. They don't have the money to pay the bills. So that's the beauty, isn't it?
I know. It's just kind of crazy. But there's a lot more in store for you, because part of it is...
It's only going to get worse news in the next 2 weeks.
Well, because it's an election year.
Yeah,
so Republicans, Democrats, Tea Party.
I know. See, election day, we're going to be at a trade show, so we're not going to be able to come on and rant and rave about the asses that are being elected to office.
Yeah, we'll be covering Siemens Automotive Aftermarket.
Yeah, you figure the people that are replacing the people are all going to be faithful to their pledges. But the guys that you're re-electing to office, they're going to screw you like you don't believe.
Ooh.
Because they absolutely think that they're safe. That we can go in, we can do this for another couple of years, and then we can sweet talk them in 212. Obama thinks he can Obama can't convince people to come out and vote for people in safe districts.
That's true.
And
they won't even appear with him.
No, they won't appear with him. The only thing Obama's done in the last week is to boost his popularity level. He still has a higher disapproval rating than approval. And then if you get down to the hardcore things, his people that really dislike him continually rise. The people that say that we would not vote, if given the opportunity, if we knew then what we know now, we would have elected John McCain. Those are Democrats.
Ooh.
And they said, well, here's a good one. Well, when Juan wins, when you say that 25% of the Obama people are going to vote for the Republicans, but you don't mention the fact that 25% of those that voted for McCain are going to now vote for the Democrats. Well, those are Democrats to begin with that voted for McCain, and more people voted for Obama than voted for McCain. So therefore, far more people are voting for the Republicans than voting for the Democrats, switching sides. It's just liberals that didn't like Obama because they knew Obama wasn't going to live up to it, that are going back to their party, because if they don't vote for the Democrats, it's going to be, like I said, 14 Senate seats are in play for the Republicans, and 150 to 200 House seats are totally in play.
Well, there's a whole lot more that's going to be happening these next couple of weeks before the elections, because some areas they have been voting and they closed off the early voting.
Yes.
I mean,
well, because for the first time, generally early voting favors the Democrats because they bring people out, but in the early polling, it's all favoring the Republicans. Remember that in a Democratic-controlled area, you historically have to win by 4 to 5 points to keep the election from being thrown to the Democrat.
And the other part, the other part that always makes me a little anxious is I always like to go in and vote and be there in person.
Yeah.
This year I'm going to be out of state, so I have to do a mail-in ballot.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do it early because mail-in ballots.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't even think they count them half half of the
No,
time.
they said they only
they set
count
them aside.
They said if the race is close, they'll be counted.
Yeah.
If it's not close, they're not even going to count them, which means you're in violation of the law right there. All votes cast must be counted. The absentee ballots must be given to all those that want an absentee ballot 45 days before the election. The Democrats, every democratically controlled state in the nation basically didn't send absentee ballots out.
Hey, I wonder if I could, I mean, I've got my absentee ballot. I wonder if I could go in person somewhere.
No.
Probably not. I guess
No.
I'll just have to mail it in and hope that they'll count it, which they
They
probably
won't. They're not going to count. They said absentee ballots and mail-ins will not be counted in states where it's not done entirely, unless the voting is in, unless there's a close election, then they count them now, because otherwise they consider it a waste of time, which is what I told you. If you're a Republican, you historically have to win by 4 to 5% higher than the other person in a Democratic area. Otherwise, they're going to swing the election by the court system over to the Democrat. That's how it works. So it doesn't happen in Republican areas. Republicans tend to vote honestly. Democrats basically are machine politicians from the days of Tammany Hall, and Franklin Delano Roosevelt helped create that system, folks.
Oh, he did? FDR?
Yeah, you know, the great hero of the whole world. Who was the poorest Roosevelt, he took office, and the richest Roosevelt, and he died. How to get rich in office? Well, figure that out. But
Yeah, you're thinking they only make so much money as a president? Well, guess
he
what?
led one of the most corrupt political machines in history, and Obama's a Chicago politician. I mean, you're going to see people that could not possibly, okay, we're talking, we've had 13, 14-point changes in one day in some of the election campaigns, according to Democratic internal polling.
13 to 14 points in one day?
Yeah.
That's an awful lot.
Because they're basically, the Democrats basically are going to strong-arm people. It's going to get meaner and nastier, and you're going to see Republicans and Democrats fighting pure hand-to-hand combat on stages, because the Democrats are going after family members, children. It's getting nasty, folks. That's why they said, you know, that the woman in Delaware is actually doing better than what you might think, because the attacks are not sticking to her in Delaware.
Oh.
You know, like she basically plans to do a Halloween thing dressed as a witch commercial. So it didn't stick. The publicity they're giving her is driving people to her, like Sarah Palin, not away from her. Because she didn't have the money the Democrats had. The Republican National Committee gave her $42,000.
Ooh.
Sharon Ingle got like about $14 million.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's the difference. So you see, the Republican National Committee is not supporting Tea Party candidates unless the Tea Party candidate has a massive lead. Then they want to join in. So,
in other words, if you're going to win, we'll help support you so we can look like we're on the winning team.
but if you're close, we're not going to give you a penny. You got to do it all on your own. The trick is, if they do it on their own to win, they become independent of the Republicans, which the Republicans don't understand.
Oh yeah, so when, you know, it comes to casting, you know, Democrats, Republicans, see, part of it, when it comes to all those really important votes,
Yeah.
they never know what side they're going to go on, do they?
No, but next time this is all count.
And this is not a spring chicken. We're here yesterday, today, and tomorrow. For more information,
You can go to www.montebubbles.net on the net.
and join us daily for our news in 3D.
And hopefully, by the time you see this, we'll be doing live in 3D. Our camera will be here tomorrow, hopefully.
Yes, cross our fingers.
We'd hope to be doing live today.
I know, we wanted to be doing that. We're crossing our fingers.
Oh yeah, we're crossing the finger. We're going to event to use the thing tomorrow night.
I know.
Which means we're cutting it close on getting the
Awfully
one battery
close.
we have charged.
I know.
Yeah, we have one battery because that's all we can get. We can find one battery. So, and we may not be able to get it charged before the.
I know.
So it's going to be a real iffy thing. So.
What charges in the car?
They'll be charging all the way to the event. We'll probably have maybe an hour between the time we get. We got to figure out how to use the camera first.
Oh, that too.
I have to figure out how it basically has a depth of field of 3 foot to 15 foot. That's its focal range, folks. To be able to get it to go anything else, you got to readjust it. I know how. I just haven't ever done it.
We're gonna learn real quick. So we are anxious because we got a lot more in store for you.
Yeah.
So follow us, and thank you once again.